Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2 Season 8. And we're actually in the Football League now, which is absolutely mental. It's taken 8 seasons. It was actually quicker than I thought it would take for Lincoln United to get to League 2 and the Football League. It's just crazy. We are here by a lot of luck. We had a lot of luck, I think, in having such a good season last season, and a lot of luck in winning the playoffs as well, despite being 17 points adrift of a team in second place. It does feel a bit dirty being in here when we know that Harrogate were 17 points better than us last season, but who cares? We're here now. It's done and dusted, League 2, and today we've got Accrington Stanley in our first ever game in the Football League. So I suppose we'll start off then with our summer transfer business. It's been difficult. Very, very difficult to get players in. We have got a weak squad. I think in some areas it's weaker than last season, if I'm honest with you. Particularly up front. We still have Mark Mason. That's about it, really, to be fair. So we are weak up front in terms of our depth. We don't have much depth in the centre midfield either. Elsewhere on the wings we've strengthened, and in defence we've strengthened, but we are lacking a bit in midfield and attack, and we need to address that at some point very soon before the transfer window shuts. First of all, we'll talk you through who's left the club. Michael Emery finally has retired, unfortunately. He was always at the club, never really made an appearance, but was always there as a backup goalkeeper. So he was, we sorely miss Michael Emery, but thank you very much for your service. Nathan Dale has left, a bit controversially. I just don't think he was warranting the wages we're paying him. Similar sort of story with Sanderson and Turner, to be fair. All three of these guys on high wages and not really being that integral to the squad anymore, really. So they've all gone, along with Nick McCabe, who just really wasn't going to cut it at this level. Shouldn't have really cut it last season, to be fair. He played quite well last season, but for a Football League team, we just need someone better than Nick McCabe sitting in that CDM position. I mean, last season, 7.76 was worse. That's his worst season he's had with us so far, actually. I mean, it's all pretty similar there, but we need someone a little bit better sitting in that CDM position than Nick McCabe, and I think we've got someone a lot better. Spencer Keller has also left us. He's gone to Grimsby, where he's being paid 1.2k per week at Grimsby, which works out to about an eighth of our, in fact, probably less than an eighth of our whole wage budget. Sorry. So he's been paid an awful lot of money at Grimsby when he wasn't really going to get paid much here and wasn't going to play. So fair play to him. I can understand why he's gone. Now let's start with the ins. And the first player on the in list isn't actually on here for some reason. I can understand why. It's because we've extended his loan, so it's not actually a new transfer. If we go to our team view and we just do this, Darren White, our goalkeeper from last season, is back once again with us on loan from Cambridge. Played really well last season in the team that got us promoted. 15 clean sheets. He conceded 58 in 49 games, which isn't too bad, to be fair, but 15 clean sheets is good. Just below a 7 average rating. I think he's a decent player, and hopefully will do very well for us this season. Back to the transfer screen, and another familiar face is returning in goal as well. Jed Andrew is coming back. He's now here on a permanent deal after being superb for us in our Vanarama National North promotion winning side, and also the FA Trophy winning side. We had him on loan that season. Last season we tried to get him again, but Luton just wouldn't let us have him, unfortunately, for whatever reason. So that's when we got Darren White instead, but now he's available on a free transfer. We thought we'll get him back again. And these two, Darren White and Jed Andrew, can compete to play as goalkeeper. They're both very good, both suited to this division as far as I'm aware, so it's going to be quite interesting to see them compete and try and battle to be our number one. Next up, sitting in the centre-back position is Dan. Now, I'm not sure if this is Hap or Hape, or Happy. So I think just to avoid all confusion, we're going to set a nickname for him, get rid of that E on the end of whatever that's meant to be, and put a Y instead, because then there's no question as to what he's called then. It's Dan Happy. Dan Happy joined us on a free transfer from Gateshead, 3.5-star current ability, 26 years old, centre-back. Should be really solid, I think. Brings a bit of experience to the squad, I've got to say, because we do lack a bit of experience in terms of age and things like that, but has played a lot of his career in the Football League, specifically in League 2. Played a lot of games last season for Gateshead in this division. They didn't get relegated, so he can't be that bad. So hopefully he comes in and will be quite a stalwart alongside Wakely. Next up, for the grand sum of £14,000, nearly £15,000. Again, this is another player that has a contract that says it's expired, but then when we sign him, it says you've actually got to pay compensation. £15,000 is the most amount of money we've paid for a single player. So Mick Atkinson is now the highest valued player and highest paid player at the club that we've bought, at least in terms of transfer fee. He is a right back, which you'll think, why are you signing a right back? We've got Kenice Carroll. Well, when this guy comes available and wants to join us at 19 years old as well, we have to sign him, I've got to say. He's got really good value as well, so maybe we could sell him on for a bit in the future as well. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential as a right back. Is going to be a really good player. He's got championship potential as well, so really hoping that someone actually comes in at some point to buy him offers, because that makes some money for us, which is good. Much better than Kenice Carroll as well, and Kenice Carroll actually very well suited the centre-back position, so Kenice Carroll is going to be a really good, important player for us, can play in 2 positions, so you're still going to see Carroll, he's going to be really good. After being let go by Manchester United, he went to Chorley for free, played very well there last season, and has now come to us in League 2, so hopefully he's going to play really well, grab plenty of assists, and keep us away from relegation. Next up, 3 players on loan, the first of which is Tony Russell from Norwich. He comes in as a right winger. We need someone there to provide competition for Douglas Hurst, but also to kind of replace him a little bit, to be fair. We need someone just slightly better there. He comes in 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Should be really good. Not made a first team appearance for any club yet, but last season played plenty of times, as you can see, for their under-18 squad or under-19 squad or whatever it is. Scored 6 and got 14 assists. So he played really well last season in their youth team. Hopefully he can do it this season. Second player on loan is Aaron Bowley from Cardiff. He comes in as a centre defensive midfielder, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Again, another really good young player. He can play as an anchorman or defensive midfielder. Like that kind of versatility in those kind of roles. Again, similar thing to the player before, not played a competitive game yet, but played quite a lot last season in their youth team or reserve team, for example. And did quite well with a goal and 4 assists as well, with a decent average rating. So I'm hoping, again, he's another young player that can come in and improve himself in the Football League. The final loan player is Jaden Sweeney, coming in from Leyton Orient. He is a left back. Now, we needed a little bit more cover there. We're a bit light down his left-hand side. He probably won't start too much. He's 3-star current ability and 4.5-star potential, but probably won't start ahead of Turiak. But we do like to have a bit of cover there, because Turiak sometimes will be pushed up to the midfielder position, or maybe even up to the attacking midfielder position sometimes. So he's come in to just sort of provide some cover there, and I think he should be a decent player, but of course Turiak's always going to start there instead. And finally, the final player we brought in so far, Stuart Gordon on a free transfer. Another centre-back. We needed just a little bit more cover there, to be fair. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. 19 years old as well, so really young, got plenty of time to improve. On a pretty decent contract as well. So I was quite happy to bring him in just to provide a bit more cover there in that centre-back position behind Happy and Wakely, and even Carroll actually to an extent as well. So hopefully we'll see him a bit. Hopefully he'll develop, but he was at Middlesbrough the past few seasons in the youth team. Either way, they're the players that have come in so far. We do need to get more strikers in, because we only have Mason and we only have Agu there that can play striker. So we need to get some more strikers in. Centre midfield, we need to bring in a few more players. I think we've only got actually Howell, Hall and Lee Masters. Someone mentioned about Lee Masters as well. He's probably the first, well, he's the first player that we paid a fee for at the club. They want to see how he's getting on, Lee Masters. So we'll have a quick look at him. Here are his attributes, and they're not bad, to be fair. They're all right, I've got to say. But in terms of his stats and his history, as you can see, been here for plenty of seasons now. Played well over 100 games for the club, to be fair. So played really well. Like, he's such a good player. But as we've progressed, he's not quite progressed as quickly as we have, which is a bit of a shame. But he's going to be a decent cover player this season, I think, for us. So we are working on bringing in some new players. We're still working on our transfers. We're still looking at strikers and central midfielders and anyone else that can really improve the squad. This is the state of League 2 then. Very different to what you'd expect in real life. We've got another really good derby coming up this season against Boston United, so that's going to be really good. Some of the teams here that you might not expect to see. Ebbsfleet, for example, Fylde. Salford are there as well. Wigan down here as well. So is Stockport come back up. So a few teams coming up, a few teams dropping down. It's a bit of a different makeup to what it is. In fact, it's very different to what you'd expect in real life at the moment, and very different to this division. So this is the division. It looks decent. We are most definitely going to be in a relegation battle, I think. If we look at the season preview, I think we are pretty much favourites to come bottom. We are, alongside Yeovil. We were actually 21st at one point, but clearly some of the teams have bought some players. So we are going to be fighting a massive, massive battle. Last season, though, we were predicted to come, I think it was around, at the start of the season, it was about 18th or 19th, and we edged into the playoffs, so that was really good. So maybe something else will happen. Maybe we'll finish more mid-table than relegation, but this season is all about keeping our Football League status. Hopefully, we get off to a good start, because we are playing Accrington today, who are favourites to come 18th this season, so not too far ahead of us, so it could be quite a decent game. And if this table is, true to how good the teams actually are, this game against Accrington today could be really massive in terms of getting some points on the board. So this then is the lineup we are going to go for. We're going to stick with the 4-1-4-1 for now. We'll see how things go. White is going to stay in goal for now. Obviously, Jed Andrew can come and play for us, but White's going to start the season off because I think he is the slightly better goalkeeper. We've got Turiak at left back as per usual with Wakely alongside him, but 2 new players in Dan Happy and Atkinson at right centre back and right back respectively. Bowley comes in that CDM position. Hopefully he's going to be really solid this season alongside Hall and Howell, who are going to keep their partnership going from the previous 2 seasons. Howell's been such a good player. He was nominated last season for Player of the Season. He didn't win it, unfortunately, in the National League, but if he was nominated for that, played really well last season, I fully expect him to take to League 2 like a duck to water. So I'm expecting big things from him. Hopefully we'll see Coley continue his fine form from the end of last season. He played so well at the end of last season, I've got to say. If we look at his history, in 30 games, got 8 goals, 7 assists, 3 player of the matches. That was fantastic, to be fair. He played so well after he signed from us last season, was real integral to our promotion push. So Coley hopefully will do the same thing this season. We've got the new guy Russell on loan on the right hand side, and of course everyone's favourite striker Mark Mason is starting up front. Hopefully he'll bag himself another 20 goals this season. If he can do that, surely someone's got to try and buy him at some point because no one's come to buy him yet. He signed his new contract, so obviously that puts players off and teams off, but for a player that has scored 55 goals in the league in 2 seasons, surely someone's got to come and buy him at some point, and they've surely got to offer at least 6 figures. I thought it was confusing as to why I had to press continue to carry on. I thought it just went straight to the game. I'm sure that's when I left it. But no, it's because I saved it right before the Checker Trade Trophy draw, and when I press continue, it's done the draw. We meant to do this together, but we haven't done it together. Either way, we're playing against Leicester in the 23s, Rochdale and Stockport in this season's Checker Trade Trophy. It's not something we're really going to focus on at all. I don't think we need to be bothered by it too much. It's a bit of I'd say it's a Mickey Mouse tournament, but Lincoln City did win it last season, and that was really good to go to Wembley and watch that. So I was very happy about that. So I can't really call it a Mickey Mouse competition, but for us at least, this season with Lincoln United, that's what it is. Right then, here we are then, kicking off our life in Football League. It's Chapter 2. This is what it is. It's Chapter 2 of Lincoln United. Chapter 1 was all about non-league and getting out of non-league. And here we are, Chapter 2 of the Lincoln Loco 2 story. And it's the Football League. We're here at the Wham Stadium in Accrington, looking today to try and pick up some points, maybe even a win today against Accrington. What a way to start the season that would be. What a way to start life in the Football League with 3 points away from home as well. Now, let's not kid each other here. This is going to be a really, really tough season. We were very fortunate to get into the playoffs as Hall nearly put in the back of the net. We were really, really fortunate to get into the playoffs last season. As I say, we're 17 points adrift of a team in second, and then to go and win it, because we just seem to do so well in pressure situations as the club. We did so well the season before that in the Cup, for example. We just seem to do well in sort of knockout situations, and we just took it to the teams, and we did really, really well, won the whole thing in the end, which is ridiculous. And we find ourselves here now, probably not ready to be here, if I'm honest with you, as their goals disallowed, actually, which is nice to see. I was about to say, that's a perfect example of us not being ready. We're conceding goals like that early on in games. It is going to be a long season. We haven't been able to bring in the players that we wanted to, really. We're still not there stature-wise with the other clubs, so it's understandable that teams don't want to give us players on loan and players don't want to sign for us. We'll still work on it as Mark Mason gets the first goal. It's poetry, isn't it? Absolute poetry that Mark Mason, the man that has fired us to 2 promotions in the past 2 seasons, gets the opening goal of our Football League campaign with Lincoln. I love him to bits, Mark Mason. Without Mark Mason, there is not a chance we would have had 2 back-to-back promotions. We might still be in the National League North if it wasn't for Mark Mason, if I'm honest with you. He has been the reason we've got promoted, I've got to say. And I love him to bits. He's already one of my favourite strikers ever in Football Manager. He's up there with Hammer Time from Lincoln Loco last season. He's up there with other strikers in my personal saves in the past. And I had 2 really good strikers in FM 2012 that I always talk about with my friends, and he's right up there with them, I think. As Coley, Mason, we could have had a second goal. There's Cambridge, by the way, a 5-1 up against Salford I've just seen, which is mental. But that doesn't matter to us right now. What does matter is that we are 1-0 up against Accrington heading towards half-time. And actually, we are convincingly, look at the stats, the better side out here as Atkinson puts the cross in, cleared but only as far as Joe Howe. Oh, I would love for him to get a goal today as well. He's such a good player. Alternatively, Accrington have just fired themselves back on level terms, unfortunately. That was completely left open at the far post there. We just didn't get back to stop that counter-attack. And to be fair, if Accrington missed that, that would have been just ridiculous. But 1-1 at half-time, I'm still very pleased with. I think we played very well in that opening half. If we can carry on, we should definitely come out of this game with some points on the board. In a similar vein, though, I think one of the reasons we did so well last season is because I think we nearly might score a goal here. We do score a goal. Tony Russell, the chap on loan from Norwich, grabs the second goal of the game for it after a well-worked manoeuvre there. As I was saying, I think the reason we did so well last season is because we kept the nucleus of the side that did so well in the Vanarama National North season. And I think potentially one of the reasons why we're on top of the stats today and winning this game right now is because we have kept the nucleus of that side once again. We've still got Mason, we've still got Coley, Hall and Howell in the middle, Turiak, Wakely, still got plenty of players that were starting for us last season and the season before, playing very well in this squad today. And I'm very surprised at how well we are playing. Like, this really is, to me, a bit ridiculous. I was not expecting us to come out here, be on top of the stats like this, be beating Accrington. It's really, really a nice position to be in right now. We're going to make some changes out there just to try and... We've got a game coming up against Oldham very, very soon. Atkinson's looking tired out there, so Carroll's going to come on for him. We'll give him a run out to see what he's all about, see if he's still got it from last season. We do need to protect our midfielders because at the moment we don't have many. So Lee Masters is going to come on for Hall just to give him a rest and Masters give a stretch of the legs. We have put an offer in for Jermaine Belcher once again to get him back on loan because at the moment he's one of the only players who's probably good enough for this level who actually wants to join us. So he's probably going to come back for next episode. We'll keep an eye out for more players as well. There's a few that I've got on my mind and a few that I'm keeping my eye on who are free transfers that just haven't decided that they want to come to us yet. They'll come to us at some point when no clubs come for them. I mean, this is like November when no clubs come for them. They need the money, so they might come to us then. But, by then it could be too late. We don't know. Winding down the clock, though, very quickly. We've got 40 seconds left and we will pick up 3 points in our opening game of the season and temporarily move up to 7th in the table on the first day of the season, which is phenomenal. This result today could be pivotal towards the end of the season. We just don't know how it's going to go. If we play like this every single game this season, then I'm confident that we'll do well this season and we won't be in a relegation battle if we play like this. But I'm still fully expecting us to be in a relegation battle. So 3 points like this against Accrington could be huge, and we have secured them. Mason and Russell with the goals. This season, this team, I just love this team. They're incredible. Lincoln United in control as Stanley brushed aside. Atkinson makes his debut alongside Dan Happy. The League 2 season kicks off. Cambridge 5, Salford 2 is a quite an interesting result considering that we saw at the start of the episode Salford are favourites to win the title. And you love to see that. Howe shined as Lincoln United win. Joe Howe, one of my favourite players. I just love him to bits. In fact, he's actually a real player, I've just realised. I thought he was a regen, but he's not a regen because he's... Let's find out where he's in real life. And if he's actually around, if he's on, Twitter or something like that, I'd love to, get him involved. I don't know what's happened to the screen, though. This looks... Oh, we've finally gotten to Joe Howe. It's taken a while to decide what to do with itself. Again, I've been talking recently about the setup of my laptop. Really is starting to just crumble. Okay, in real life, I think he's at Grays Athletic or Hailston Town, one of the two of those. So if someone supports Grays or knows Grays or can get in contact with Joe Howell, I'd love a... Is that a bit weird? I want an autograph. No, maybe I'll get an autograph. I don't know. He's a superb player either way. He's been phenomenal for us, so we can't underestimate him. And he's already got an 8.3 in the first game of the season today. We love Joe Howell. Please, Joe, please actually come and sign for Lincoln United in real life because that would be amazing. So there we go. The start of League 2. It's been phenomenal. What a fantastic start to the season. Next episode, we need to talk about that. What we're going to do next episode. I think, how many league games? I think next episode we go to Shrewsbury and Bury. That just seems like, you know, a nice little time in between episodes. A few league games, a few cup games. Or no, we're not going to do Shrewsbury and Bury. We're going to do Bury and Boston. Just realised Boston are right there. That's a local derby. We need to get that in. So next episode, Bury and Boston. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.